All right. Can everybody hear me? Hey, Corey. Hey, Joey. Bob. Can everybody hear me okay? I thought this headset wasn't working yesterday. I wasn't sure if it was working or not after yesterday's. Hey, RPM. There. I just figured I know I promised yesterday on this live that we'd fire this thing up. I haven't fired it up in probably about a year, probably more than that even, probably about almost 2 years. I know I promised yesterday on this live that we'd fire this thing up. I haven't fired it up in probably about a year, probably more than that, probably almost. So I quickly threw some electronics in it today just for testing purposes. Hey John, thanks for coming. I know that the starter box looks goofy how this is set up, but it's just basically a buggy box. So to start it, you got to have it sideways. So. Yeah, these foam tires aren't to be run on the ground. They're homemade tires that I made because I can't seem to find tires for this super old Pico Genesis. Not in this hemisphere anyway. So these are actually tires I made out of yoga blocks, foam yoga blocks. They started out life the same as what the kits are all sitting on over there. I found some of these tires in Europe and in Portugal and whatnot, but they're expensive. They're like 80 euros plus freight to get them here. So while we're talking, I'll turn the engine heater on. Let that warm up a little bit. This thing did run like a champ the last time I drove it, so it worked really well. It's just a sin that the tires are done. Hey Jason, Ranks. Thanks for coming. From the research I've done with this thing, it's a Kyosho Pico, Pico Genesis pan car from Europe from the early 90s, somewhere around 93. It even has the Pico logos and everything on it. And it was made for Pico for the race circuit, for the pro circuit. And it's a super pro kit. And there was only like 2,500 of them made for the world. And they're super rare and they're very hard to get parts for. So I'm scared to run it. And it's very fast. I have driven it one time and it makes my Jado look like it's standing still. So it is insanely fast. And it's very, I got to try and find some new tires for it because the ones that were on it were very hard, so it was tough to grab traction. So I'd be scared to rip a donut in here and nail the hoist and break something on it, because it's like even things like the belt drive for the 4-wheel drive is non-existent. It's not that you can't, they're tough to find, they just don't exist. So, and actually there's a fella that I found in Portugal that I was talking to that has new old stock Pico wheels and tires, the same as these, everything new old stock, still in the packages, and he's saving them for me, but it's a lot of money to send off to get them. I should prioritize this thing and just finish it. Yeah, this would be built for like that style circuit, that FMAR circuit, Bob. You're right. It's a pretty cool rig. It's just like I said, I nice enough, and B, I don't have the right tires for it. Like this is the body for it. It literally sits like, I don't know, less than 1/4 of an inch off the ground. So oh, yeah, nice and warm there now. Figure. Guys, should we see if it'll make some smoke? Like I said, it's been a little while. Hopefully it doesn't cause me too much grief since the last time I drove it. I just threw some old AM gear in it just because I don't like running something with absolutely no radio gear in it. It's kind of scary if you have any problems. Fine, nice. Surprised those tires haven't exploded. Sounds so different, this thing. That's okay. See if we can fix that fuel tank cap leak.
Hey John, did you do your live today? Sorry buddy, I missed it. I was kind of running around trying to get ready for this today. I know that's not much of an excuse, but
Where's my O-ring pick? This isn't some weird, bizarre O-ring size. There it is. It's really skinny. I got an O-ring this big. That's pretty good.
John, I appreciate that, buddy. Try. Hope everybody got a chance to get out and burn some nitro this weekend. Just have some fun. I think that's stupid. It's a pretty skinny order. That over. Who's broke? Put that over in there now, I can't get it back out. The serpent, I don't know. But today it's actually a Pico Genesis. So it's not something you will see, so don't feel bad if you don't know what it is, because like I said, until I come across it, I've never seen one before either. There we go. That's not like it. Yeah, it's very old, kind of it's 1993, for the pro circuit, back when Pico only ever made one car to my knowledge, and this would have been it, right? So it was, I think it was a joint venture between Pico and I think Kyosho. Almost who made the chassis? Don't quote me on it. I'm not 100% sure. This is the body for it. That's the body for it. It's pretty cool. Even everything about it is a little bit different than everything else. Like even the carburetor is a little bit weird. It's a big Jesus slide carburetor. You know, so it's not a regular carb. See, let's see if I can get it closer here so you guys can see it. But yeah, see the size of the carburetor on that thing. Just as my finger, just for reference. And there's the transmission. See if that tank leaks now. Give it another fire. Nice to run up the remainder of that fuel. bit of a bitch to start it. I had one of these boxes modified for this thing, and then I put it back. Yeah, it is. It's quarter the size of the engine. It's a massive carburetor. It's called anyway, of course. plastic on this thing. Only plastic with the front bumper on the engine mount or the body mount. Everything else is aluminum. Carbon. There it is. And she's out of fuel. Beautiful. That thing is pretty sick. I'm gonna have to do some piddling around and see if I can figure out a tank overring for that thing. So obviously the one I put in there is not working. It's not tight enough. So do some messing around, see if we can figure that out. It does kind of look like the up and spot. I got the exhaust fan on it, so it clears out pretty quick in here. So put an exhaust system in here just for doing this. This has even got the Pico pipe. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it is the original Pico pipe. So this thing is, like I said, it's all original. It's there's nothing non-stock other than it even had the original servos in it, and then when I first fired it up, the servos just decided they didn't want to live anymore. How did I true the foam? Well, it's funny how I did it. I put them, I cut them rough, pressed them onto the wheel, and then I took and made a mandrel for the center, and I put it in the drill press with a long bolt as the mandrel, and then just literally did it with an X-Acto knife, and like with a utility knife, and just kept it spinning, and then that's how I made them round. It worked. They're not perfect, but they seem to hold better than I thought they would. I actually thought when I revved it up like that they were going to explode, but they took it. Yeah, they're just literally, they started out life as a chunk of foam. Turn that fan off so I can save some heat here. Yeah, it was a bit of a gong show, but the tires, they started out like, I'll show you what they look like. So this is actually what they started out as. Then I cut them into that. So this is just a high density foam block. So I don't have a drill press or don't have a lathe or anything, so I was going to get a friend of mine to make them on a lathe, but I wanted to try and do it myself, so that's what I came up with. That O-ring is too small. Hopefully it'll drop this inside the tank. I don't know if it's really nice, but it's just a little bit too big. Did you run that send today, John? Well, I guess you broke that shaft broke. Did you get it? Did you get a new shaft? Oh, that fit good. That'll do it. No, not yet, eh? Just Canada Post strike whatever friggin' you're over. I would send you that transmission. There. Oh yeah, run that out nicely. Back that on the center. I think I'll leave that radio gear in there. Did you guys, speaking of runways, did you guys happen to catch Woogie's video? I think it was yesterday. He had that runaway on the LSP. What a sin, man. He had one of those days, I tell you. I'm sure we've all had them. Went out for a nice run and blew the shit out of his 8, and then turned around and had to run away on that LST. Who are we talking about? Yeah, I don't hear a lot of nice things about that fella, that's for sure. It's not cool what he was doing with Dimitri and whatnot. On the Joey, obviously. We don't need that kind of thing in the community. There. Good for another year or so. Put her back up on the shelf. If there was ever anybody that was interested in this thing, I would trade it for the right thing if it would go to a good home where somebody would actually run it, because of the fact that I'll never actually drive this again. I would like to see it actually go to Europe, where you could actually get parts for it. Just has to be the right trade. Perch. Actually, a friend of mine came by and he was looking at the nitro stuff, and I actually gave him a RC car the other day. So I'm one down on my collection. It was actually one that Joe had given me, and then so I passed it along. I wasn't super attached to it. It was a HSP little buddy, and he wanted one that he could learn on and stuff, and he had bought my RS4 for me, but obviously couldn't run it in the wintertime, so
You have an idea, Joe? I'll be all ears, buddy. You have the ground to run that thing out there. I don't. As much as I'd love to, drive that thing, it just, I don't have the nice smooth highway that's in like California and Miami and stuff like that, and some places in Europe. But it's, you know, where you don't get big frost heaves and all kinds of ugly winter, and, you know, that screws the ground all up. Like that's what we get here. And then plus, we have gravel on the roads. Oh, you should hit me up, Joe. We'll talk about it. Yeah, that was one that I wanted to get done today. What I don't want to do. I'm kind of trying to figure out what needs work. I don't know of anything that actually needs any amount of love, other than I wouldn't mind. Has anybody seen my video of that truggy with the LRP in it, the .32? How it survived that really weird glow plug nuclear meltdown? Yeah, that was crazy, man. No, we've never actually sold anything to each other. Traded back and forth. I don't think we've ever actually sold anything to each other. We've paid freight back and forth. That's about the extent of it. Trying to think of something. I haven't run for a while, so I could dust it off. Oh, I like that LRP engine. I tell you, you know what? That LRP, when I first put that in a couple different kits, because it's actually traded 3 different kits, and it's in that TC3 now, and that thing, you know, like it was always kind of a pain in the ass to tune. I put the newer carburetor on it, and it was good, and then when it was in that buggy, it was great. And then I'll tell you, what sold me on it was it surviving that. I don't think any other engine bottom end would have taken that thing locked up solid at full RPM, and I pulled it apart, and there was a big piece of melted glow plug that was glued to the crank and glued to the top of the piston, and I cleaned it up, and it's fine, which is amazing. That is definitely something that I've never seen survive. Like any other engine would have just corkscrewed that bottom end. You guys have wet heavy snow, Corey? Yeah, the older LRP carburetors are not the best. The first gen one that was on that thing, and I'll have to show you something. There's a little show and tell right there. So the first carburetor that came out of that, I keep it just as for parts, but it was so stuck in that engine that I had to destroy it to get it off that engine. Like I had to literally beat the tar out of that thing to get it off of there. I thought it was either coming out of there or it was going to wreck the engine, but That's the carburetor, the original carburetor that came out of that thing. Like I don't think I've ever had to do that to a carburetor to get it off. Hey Hugh, thanks for coming, buddy. Yeah, no man, that I trashed that carburetor getting it off. I literally had to take a hammer and a punch to get it out because the little ceramic sleeve in it had let go and kind of came down and got pinched in the in there, and it was just an absolute nightmare. Oh, yeah. I got a story I'll tell you. So when I was up in Edmonton, I went and looked at this Savage 21. I told John this story too, and Joey, but went to look at this Savage 21. This guy had ripped off this picture from somewhere, and he says he wanted $400. He said, I'm willing to negotiate on the price. And I said, oh, okay, sounds good. I said, I'll come see you tomorrow evening. He texted me multiple times that same evening, said, I'm out in the garage hanging out, come on out. I said, if you want. I said, no, I'll come see you tomorrow. It's late, I'm going to bed. And I had business in the morning. So I finished the business that I had to do in the morning. And then I texted the guy, said, I'm going to come out and have a look at it. He said, yeah, come on out. Assuming that he would have it ready to go. So I pack up to go see the guy. I get there. He said, well, it must be, it's in the box beside the garage. So we go, and it's snowing. Like it snowed 3 feet, and it's buried in this wooden crate, he says. So we dig this box out. We have a look in there at this for this thing, for this 25 or 21, and it's not in there. And he said, well, it must be in the shed in the backyard. So we go in the backyard, trudge through the snow, go out to this tin shed, look in there. No, it's not there. And then we go back to the garage. Said, well, it must be in the basement. Wait here. So he goes to the basement. He comes back up. Nope, no, it's not there. It must be in the shed. So we go back out to the shed again, dig around for a while. Then finally we go back to the garage, and he's like, no, it's not out there. So then he goes, it must be in the basement. So he goes back to the basement, and then he comes out finally from the basement with this thing that is absolutely nothing like the picture. It's beat to death, and it's locked up solid. The only redeeming quality is it had the factory engine in it, but the rest of it was just trash. It was the wrong radio, didn't have the roto start, it had a pull start on it, but it was all messed up. All the shocks had leaked all the oil inside the box. It was just an absolute disaster. And I said to the guy, I said, this thing's a mess. I said, I'll give you $100 for it as it is. And he's like, no, I won't do it. I want $400 for it. So you won't even come down from where you said you would? And he said, no. So finally I just was like, no, screw it, I'm leaving. And then to top it all off, the fella barely spoke English and was just a super difficult conversation. So it was a sin, you know, it was a massive waste of time. And then, long story short, the lucky thing is the fellow that I ran into next for that hot body struggy was a great fellow. He was a super nice guy. So everything happens for a reason, you know. You'd think he was a crackhead, but he was, just like I said, the guy was just an older East Indian fella, and he was just not willing to negotiate whatsoever. And then got all offended when I told him his absolute trash Savage was not worth what he was asking for. You think you bought it, Reese? Yeah, I wanted a 21 because I don't have a 21 in my collection. I've got a 25, and I got the 4.6, like the X, and I got the XL, but I don't have a 21. I actually haven't gotten out today yet, Joe. I was out here doing some organizing and kind of getting ready for the live, and I meant to get out and kind of get some running around today. And the weather's actually smarting up quite a bit. I'm sure you can see the sun kind of coming in behind me, so it's actually turned out to be quite nice now.
Hey, wire.
I think the snow's pretty crusty out there now too, so it'll actually be able to do some snow running, which will be kind of fun in this weather. So it's just a little bit warmer, so it'll be actually be able to kind of float on top of the snow. I hear you. I hear you. It's amazing. Some people just get so, they figure their stuff is worth $1 million. And you know, like I'm all about giving a fair price for stuff. I'm not trying to screw people over and cut them down in price and whatnot. And I'm willing to give a fair price. If it's worth what they're asking for, generally I'll pay it. But if the guys, and most people, 90% of the people you deal with are reasonable. This fellow was just not. Like it was, I haven't come across a guy that was that big of an asshole for a long time. That's true, Compass. Like a lot of this stuff is blown up by eBay prices for sure. And I mean, I mean, you go on eBay to have a look and see if you see what it's worth. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that, buddy. Oh yeah, I've come across a few people. Like I've got one MGT over there, the 4.6 MGT. That fellow was in a really snooty end of Calgary, and I went and looked at this thing, and the guy was just like, I mean, it was cheap, and the guy was like, give me $150 and take it or leave it. If you don't want to give it to me, I'll throw it in the dumpster. And of course, my wife, being the witty person that she is, says, sure, throw it in the dumpster. When's garbage day? And then he got so mad. Anyway, long story short, I ended up giving him what he wanted for it and walking away. So. Yeah, I hate that. People say they're negotiable over the phone. I mean, I don't negotiate with people. I just want to know if they're willing to move because I hate negotiating over text. I just think it's kind of douchey. But I'm all good for negotiating, but I'd rather do it in person. I don't want to do it over text because I find it rude. But if I just want to know if the guy's reasonable, you know, like, hey, are you willing to move on that price? And if they say a little bit, you expect maybe $50, $100, either way. But it's when somebody's like, no, I'm firm, then you know what you're walking into. And then it's up to you. I got a question for you fellas. I don't know if anybody's tried this or not. Has anybody ever tried these in the snow? I picked these up last year, never tried them, but I wonder what they'd work like in the snow. And they're a nice solid tire, so they should, you'd think they'd work pretty good, almost like sled tracks.
think my mic is off.
I wondered about that, if it turned on or off.
There, did it come on now? Did it come on now? Because I had problems with it last time. I when I was on the other live. Oh, yeah, thanks, Ivan. So it's working now? Perfect. I just cycled the headset and then it came back on. Did it come on now? Okay. Yeah, I thought it did that on the other live yesterday too. It's working now? Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you think these would work in the snow? Thanks, Compass. I don't. I don't know if they would dig a giant trench or if they'd float. Oh my God, Joe. You working on your dad jokes, Joe? That's pretty good. I'd just be curious. I don't know if they would work well or if they would just dig a trench. I don't know if they would dig a giant trench or if they'd float. Yeah, I think these are more for sand. I got a feeling they're just going to dig a trench into the sand. Like it looks like they're more made for sand, I think, than snow. I think snow. The biggest thing is you want flotation. Yeah, I think if the snow was hard, Haywire, I think you're right. If the snow was hard, it would probably float on top of it and work pretty good if it was frozen. I got a feeling they're just going to dig a trench into the sand. Like it's just like they're more made for sand. I think snow. The biggest thing is flotation. I think if the snow was hard, Haywire, I think you're right. If the snow was hard, it would probably float on top. I think I think that one MGT I got is the best thing I have in the snow with those big Joes on it. Like this one, I'll go grab it. I'm curious if my headset turns off. I go over here now. Come on, back in there. This one by far is my favorite snow basher. These tires are the bomb for snow. Yeah, these because they're so wide, these seem to be the best that I've found in the snow. as long as you can manage to turn them. And again, like Hugh just said, the tread pattern's so far apart, it flings the snow. And the nice thing about these, because they're so wide and so far out, it actually fires it past the body, and doesn't pack it into the body. This one's one of the few that I have that still has the pull start on it. It's the roto start. I'm missing the little tit for the roto start. So this one's one of the few that I have that still has. What do you guys figure? How long we've been on here? For an hour, eh? Should we go see if we can? We just want to take a run around the yard and see what it does. I won't go in the backyard because my chances I'd find a dog shit. It seems to want to cooperate. I can't believe that these original AE servos are holding together. They're still the factory. This thing is all original. It's a 21 MGT 21, and everything is stock. Like even except for the tires, obviously. It still even has the original AE servos in it, which are not waterproof. So I keep waiting for them to blow up, and they just don't. Like I said, I figured for sure that these servos would die by now, but they haven't. This is second year in a row. Did I hit a mute button on my headset? Like I said, I figured that I'd fuck these servos up by now, but I only ever run this thing in the wintertime. You know, the fellow I got this from probably would be super chapped at me because this thing was his baby, and all I ever do is beat the tar out of it. Give it a little bit of heat. When I go outside, I'll probably turn the headset off. Oh, it's okay. I knew that's what you were going to do with that, John. That's all good. like I said, I got that one from a drunk Stone University student, so it's not like that one was anybody's baby. Well, saw that coming. Supposed to sit in my pocket. There we go. Oh, roll over. I think I'm almost out of fuel. Let's head back inside. Oh, there's actually still fuel in it. I don't know if my headset's still working or not, but that was fun. I think those, like I said, those are my best option, I would think, for snow. Oh, it did stay working. Didn't even break anything. That's not right. The DBXL. You know, I thought about one of those things, but I'm trying to, like I said, I generally stay away from the 1/5 stuff for the just because of the noise. My neighbors are all really good about the RC stuff, but I try to generally just not bug them too bad with the 1/5 stuff. Yeah, the stock pipe's no louder than a weed eater. No, but I've heard some of the piped out ones, and holy Jesus, man, they're loud. It's right now, it's uh, it's right around 1 degree Celsius. So what's that? There, 36-ish, somewhere in there. Sorry, guys, I missed a bunch of your commenting when I was outside there, but it's right now. It's right around 1 degree Celsius. What's that? There, 36-ish, somewhere in there. Sorry, guys, I missed a bunch of your commenting when I was outside there, but. Yeah, she's pretty chilly here. Yeah, exactly. Bob, you're in Winnipeg, right, Bob? They call it winter pig for a reason. Oh, you're in Ontario. For some reason, I thought you were in Winnipeg. Hey, all aspects. Oh, Corey, you're the one in Winnipeg. I knew one. I knew one of you guys was in Winnipeg. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, that MGT is by far my favorite in the snow. It does a pretty good job. I can't really bitch. Yeah, I some days, Compass, I swear to God, I would love to move somewhere where it's warmer, like more into the interior or something, just because you get sick of the 6 months plus of winter. I suppose I should take all the snow out of that truck before I leave it sit there and get all shitty and waterlogged. You guys want to see what I do after a snow run? Just so, I don't know if you guys are interested in seeing what I do with that or not. This is my drain table, just so I can knock all the snow and everything off of it. Where's my air one? There it is. And I'll just let that dry normally. But the WD-40 and whatnot definitely helps with the water displacement for the electronics. Probably the only reason that those electronics have lasted as long as they have. Yeah, that's why I built that tub, Hugh. It just all the water and most of the snow goes in there. I mean, a little bit sprays around, but the furnace is running; it'll dry up. I have a longer hose attachment too. That's pretty handy when it comes to dealing with like when they're really bad. So that's what this one's for. So that one's a way longer one, just in case I want to stay away from it. It keeps me a little drier. And that's good if you want to try and fish it into a hole or something from working on an engine or something like that. I'm gonna have to go in and rewatch your live today, John. I'm sorry I missed it, buddy. Why would I get dizzy, Bob? Oh, from his live? Oh man, I love donuts. I love doing donuts. I'm never gonna have to watch it now. I do too, Joe. I use the toothbrush lots too, just to, when you get that stuck on dirt and stuff. But the compressor does a pretty good job for the loose stuff, especially the snow. They do. There's the some of the other ones you can buy. You can buy them in auto supply parts stores. These ones here work really good too. They're not a toothbrush, but you can get them in different ones, and then they have like plastic bristles, and then some of them have like a brass bristle, and they're for cleaning engine parts and stuff, and they work really good if you get really bad ones. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's pretty transferable back and forth for like doing stuff like just like automotive stuff. Some gun cleaning stuff is pretty good too. Um, you know, you can get lots of really good stuff for that too. Yeah, that's right, Compass. They came in a pack of three. There should be a brass one, a gray one, a steel, and then a plastic one. Yeah, the metal wire one does work really good on the brass one works the best for the exhaust because it doesn't scratch it either. Well, that's a good problem to have, Hugh. Your granddaughter wanting to spend time with with you is that's a good deal. That's a good problem to have. Enjoy it. Yeah, man. This stuff will always be here. There's a reason that some of these kits are 20, 30 years old. They've been sitting around somewhere waiting for somebody to come save them. And so that's the great part about this stuff is it'll be around. Um, and then because there'll be a time where your granddaughter doesn't want to spend time with you anymore. Hopefully not. And then you'll have all the time in the world for this. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. You know how it goes. You must be getting close to being able to put that engine in the hole, no, Hugh? My son's 24. He has no interest in this stuff. None. You gonna do the fire up on the live, Hugh? Sorry about the snuffles, guys. I know that's kind of gnarly in the ear. Just getting over being sick. Ooh, that'd be dope. I hope so. That'd be cool. Well, guys, I think I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go finish cleaning that kit up, put it away, try and get ready for my work week. And not that it hasn't been a great time. At least the weather's not too bad today, and I got to actually get out and run some stuff. So I'm going to get out and finish that tank off in this thing. Hopefully not break it, and then put some stuff away and have a great week. Then maybe I'll come out a couple times through the evening this week, and while I'm watching John's lives, and hopefully everybody else has a great work week and doesn't work too hard. Thanks for coming in here, Shadowy Bay. Sweaty Bay? I don't know if I'm butchering your name, but I appreciate to see you in here. Sorry I didn't catch you very long there, but yeah, I'm here every week at the same time on Sundays. So yeah, I'm easy to find. I'll be back again next week. Well, hopefully the weather's better. Maybe we can take that hot bodies out and take it for another rip. So thanks for coming again, John. Again, sorry I missed your live. I'll catch it on the rerun this evening when I'm sitting down with a glass of whiskey. Oh, your name's Wade. Okay, that's much easier, Wade. I'll just use that. See you, Joey. Thanks, everybody. Much love. Later.